To see a driver smile is a beautiful and unexpected thing. Because they're usually so sour, so hard at their job, that they don't have time to talk to people, to smile, or to listen. So a driver has to become expressive. When a driver shows emotion, they become expressive. So if you're an analytical or a driver, and you have to be involved with people, and if you're in business, I've got bad news for you. Without people, there is no business. So if you love being an analytical or a driver, and you're not prepared to change in order to work with people, you will fail in business. You might be the kind of person who can employ other people to do that dirty work for you, but you will always be limited to the amount of success that you're going to accomplish. If you want to be a true entrepreneur, God's kind of entrepreneur, you must be able to work with people. And to do that, you're going to have to learn to swing your temperaments. You're going to have to learn to do it. I'll show you later ways that this can be accomplished. But for now, I want you to start practicing this. I want you to start practicing the smile. Put a mirror on your desk. Every now and then have a look at it. And look at that face and ask yourself, would I like to spend time with the person with a face like that? Come on, be honest. And just that thought alone may make you smile. Okay, it may take a little bit more than that to make you smile. You may have to think a happy thought like Peter Pan. And you know what? You may also learn to fly like he did when he thought a happy thought. Think about somebody you love. Yes, drivers do have emotion, and they do even have love, strangely enough. I know it's difficult to believe if you know people who are pure drivers, but they do have some feelings inside there, very deeply hidden. So think about somebody you love. Maybe your wife, your girlfriend, your fiancé. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's somebody else that you have fond emotions for. Think about that person, and you'll find it a bit easier for that smile to begin to come out. You see, so the feeling that's inside of you is starting to show itself on your face. Okay. Then practice saying things to people. Yeah, when the secretary walks in, instead of saying, "You're late," say, "You're looking lovely today," with a smile. She may get a heart attack, but it's a risk worth taking. And you know what the amazing thing is? She may actually work harder without you having to tell her what to do all the time. Try it. Learn to swing to the emotional parameter. Okay? If you're an expressive or an amiable, you probably need to hold back on it at times. Especially if you're an expressive, you talk too much. Don't give people time to think. Always imposing your goals and desires and plans on everybody else. Okay, but we won't go into that now. Now, when it comes to work, it's very different. When it comes to work, the more important parameter is the assertive parameter. That's why the amiable actually has a problem with work, because the amiable is non-assertive. And actually the analytical also has a problem with work. Now, isn't that amazing? I said that neither the expressive nor the amiable has a problem with people. It's only the analytical and the driver that need to learn to swing. Now we come to the assertion parameter, and first person on the list is the analytical again. Oh dear, seems to me like the analytical has more problems than anybody else. The analytical has to learn to swing to both the emotive and to the assertive. Because in business you have to deal with people, and in business there's a job to be done. That's why I said the analytical actually has the greatest weaknesses when it comes to business. And if you're an analytical, you're the one who will have to change the most, even though you are the temperament that hates change the most. If you want to succeed in business and you're an analytical, it's going to be a tough road. I'm sorry. But there's no other way. Analytical must move to driver to get the job done. Analytical can tell everybody how to do the job just as long as you don't ask them to do the job. Analyticals are great work-study practitioners, telling everybody what they're doing wrong and how they can improve it, but they never get it done themselves. Have a look at an analytical's desk, and usually it's either a mess, because he's trying to do so many things at the same time and never gets them done. The analytical's got charts up on the wall, all charts of how to do the job right, all the helps on the wall, all the tasks that need to be done, how to do it, when to do it, how to plan it, the daily schedules, the weekly schedules, the monthly and the annual schedules. Just go to the analytical's office and you'll see all of those things that are on the wall. Spend hours every day getting those charts ready for somebody else to use. And then the amiable, of course, has to move to expressive, because the amiable will never get the job done. Okay, so learn to swing the parameter. Okay, if you're an analytical or a driver, you've got to learn to swing into the emotive parameter. If you're an amiable or an analytical, you've got to swing down into the assertive parameter to get work done. Both of these are essential to succeeding in the business environment. These are our temperaments. And all of us have a mix of temperaments. I want you to seriously go and look at yourself and assess where your temperaments are, and look at your weaknesses and look at your strengths. And I want you to say, okay, these are my weaknesses. Now what strengths do I need to overcome them? And the chances are you're going to find those strengths in one of your adjacent or the opposite temperament. How are you going to overcome these weaknesses? The magic C word. Change. Change. How are you going to change? It's not going to happen overnight. There has to be some form of growth. Okay. So don't get discouraged if you try it and it fails, and you try it again and it fails again. It's going to take a bit of practice to get this right. And practice is going to go beyond that, just the odd little time when you do it. It's got to become a life habit. It's got to become a lifestyle. And so I'll be dealing next time and looking more at temperaments, but getting beyond the temperaments now into character. What's character? Character, if you like, is the temperamental mix that has become your comfort zone. That's become your character. That's become the kind of person you've been for years and years and years. That is the person that was formed right from childhood till eventually you found the place you liked to be, and now you sit there all the time. It's going to have to change. It's not enough just to swing the temperaments every now and then. You actually have to change your whole temperamental mix until there comes a permanent change to where people look at you and they say, this is the kind of character you are. To accomplish that, you're going to have to change some of the habits in your life. You're going to have to change some of the things that you do all of the time. And that'll be the third thing that we'll look at. And we'll look at your habits and some ways of actually changing those habits and overcoming them until eventually a new person stands and looks back at you in the mirror. And by the time you're finished, you'll look at yourself and say, I'm not the same anymore. People that you haven't seen for a while, who knew you before, will bump into you and say, what happened to you? You changed. You're not the same kind of person you used to be before. Why? You've grown a little bit. You've grown a little bit. You've changed a little bit. Well, hopefully you've changed a lot. And when that happens, suddenly everything around you begins to change as well. Your bank balance, we hope, is going to change. The things that you accomplish in life, the house that you live in, the car that you drive, everything in your life will automatically change as soon as you change. And so as we continue in this series on personal growth, we're going to understand a little bit more about why you need to change, what needs to change, how you can change. And by the time we finish, I think